Hey guys, it's truss building day. The next step. It's what I read online and all over the places. You should build your trusses right after you've done the floor, because it's easier to build it on the floor. And I got one day this week to try to do this, and hopefully I can. Uh, the original plans I had are no longer on the internet for some reason, I don't know. So I had to find new plans for a 10 by 10 shed. And the dimensions are a little bit off. They're not exactly 10 by 10 or anything like that, but so that means the truss dimensions are off too. So I had to kind of like try to figure it out myself with the help of the internet, but I ended up just trying to do the math myself because I want to be sure. So basically do some high school geometry with the right triangle. So that's how I started. Now, the only thing I knew to start was this is like half of our roof, this right triangle here. And this is half the span, 4.9 feet, 151 centimeters. So that's the only thing I knew what to start with. And from that, I got the rest. Because for one thing, they say you should make 412, at least a 412 roof. So the ratio of 412. So that means for every 12 of X, it goes up 4 in the Y. So since I knew it was 151 centimeters for X, and that is in the ratio of 12, so that divides by 12, and it equals Y, which I don't know, and that's in the ratio of 4. So I want to figure out, the next step is figure out how high these trusses are going to be, because the ultimate goal is to find the hypotenuse and how long you got to cut it. So I got Y over 4, so you move the 4 over here, which brings it on top, and then you do the math there, and then you get the calculation 50.35 centimeters, 1.65 feet. So now I know two things. Now with that, I wanted to figure out the angle I got to cut the wood at, and with that I just used the functions of trigonometry. I used the tangent. I wanted to find this angle A. The tangent of A equals Y divided by X. So now I got Y and X. I divide that Y by X, and that gives me the tangent of A. It doesn't give me the angle, it just gives me the tangent of A. To get the angle, I got to arc tangent that tangent of A, and that'll give me the angle, and that came out to 18 point, in my calculations, 18.4 degrees. And if you look online, it's like you see 18.5 degrees, and I should have realized, because if you do a 412 slope, it should always give 18.5 degrees. So now I got the angle I cut my truss on. Okay, so now I got it on paper, all the theory. Now I got to do it in real life. So we bring it up to, I chalked it out here. If you can see that there. I measured that inner triangle to the right dimensions. And then what I also did is the hypotenuse on my page here of 5.2 feet is for the inner triangle. Now the wood is going to go up higher than that and go down. So that would add a little bit more on that, add another inch. So I just measured the top of that, and that gave me the inches. So that gave me the starting length of my truss. And now I just got to add maybe 6 inches to that, length so it overhangs, and then make my cuts, my 18.5 degree cuts on the top point and the edge point. Then after that we do the bird's mouth, and I still got to figure that out. Okay, my calculations call for a truss length of 174.2 centimeters, and so I'm going to measure that after angle. So I got my miter saw set at 18.5 degrees, and I'm going to start by cutting the end, and then the angle here 18, and then I'm going to measure the 174.2 from there and cut the other end the same angle. In case I did not mention previously, you should always have safety goggles on and a dust mask, because that dust from the wood, you don't want that getting in there, breathing it in. It's full of chemicals, and you never know if something's going to fly in your eye. So sometimes I don't, I say screw it, but you should do it all the time. So I'll just make sure I'm right on the edge. Now I'm going to measure the 174.2 from the top of there. Feet square. Mark the line. See there? Perfect fit. Now I'm going to use this truss here as a template to make all the other ones, so they're all exactly the same. Instead of measuring each piece, you just mark them with this one. And you want to cut on the waist side of the line so it's as accurate as possible. Now, from what I'm told, is the bird's mouth should hang about a ½ inch past the edge of the shed. So for that, that's like about 5.25, no, about 5 inches. So I find that spot and mark that. Now to get your 18.5 degree angle, use a speed square, and it's a 4/12 slope. So you put the pivot mark on that, on your 5-inch mark, and you tilt that until the this floor here comes level with the 2x4, and that's your 18-degree angle there. Then the length of the bird's mouth is going to be 3 1/4 inches. So we mark that there. And the height is 1 1/4 inches. So on the diagonal line, we would mark 1 1/4. And then just draw them together. And that's my bird's mouth cut. Off on the first cut, but easily fixed. Well, the second bird's mouth I did, I cut it really a lot better. I think I got the knack of it now. So you can see it extends around a 1/2 inch past. To the other side. The next step is to make a jig. So you could build all the trusses the same. And so you lay your trusses there. I already had the lines drawn and everything, so it was easy just to fit them in the lines. So they're all lined perfectly. Then you have 4 jigs, or parts of the jig, and you screw them really tight and flush to the board. 2 screws, 2" screws. I got that off the internet, so it looks like a handy tip. I'm going to do that now. Well, the next step after this is to build the gussets, but I'm going to cut a bunch more trusses before I start doing that. And I'll have to figure out the dimensions of the gussets too. So I'm going to use my best bird's mouth board as a template to cut a bunch more trusses now with the miter saw. I have to make 18 trusses. I have to cut 18, and then there's another 8 I gotta make for the gable extension that overhangs. So maybe 26 trusses I gotta cut. Look at that storm coming. I got all this stuff out here. Jeez, man. It's the year of rain. In this area anyways. Well, it's coming, but it looks like there's a chance it might just blow over. It seems to be, that dark cloud over there seems to be passing by to the north. Anyways, I finished all of my miter sawing anyway, so I put the miter saw away. And if it does start downpouring, I'm just going to tarp that wood there, bring my circular saw in, and just quickly tarp it, because it's supposed to just last a bit, half hour tops. So hopefully it doesn't rain. And I'm gonna have a fire tonight. I got lots of brush to burn and little spare bits of wood. Got too much, I gotta get rid of some. Okay, I cut, like I said, I made all the cuts with the miter saw. I got 19 cut. Because I didn't plan on doing the gable extensions, but I want to do them, and I might as well do them at the same time I'm doing this, but that's okay. But you see I marked all the bird's mouth on all the boards there, so if the rain doesn't, the storm passes, clears, then I'm gonna circular saw with these bird's mouths. My dog loves storms. Barks at them all the time. Okay, it ended up raining and thunderstorming yesterday, so I couldn't get any more work done. And I had to go get some more lumber today, some more 2x4s, because I didn't count for the gable overhangings on the front and the back, so I needed another 7 pieces for that. And I had to bring the miter saw out again to cut it. So I'm gonna do that. And I just want to make a point, when you're buying lumber, I was at Lowe's and like 8 out of 10 were bad. Like took me a half hour just to get 8 pieces of wood. So really check your wood carefully, make sure it's not warped or gouges taken out of it and everything like that. And when you're cutting, make sure you cut off the bad end or the worst end. Try to pay extra attention to that. And I made a mistake. I calling these things trusses. Like, I was confused there. There's Rafters trusses, and some articles they're saying trusses and some Rafters, and so I looked it up, and supposedly a truss is something that is pre-made at the factory, and a rafter is something you build at a construction site. So I guess I am building rafters. So I'll start calling them from now on. And so I'm going to finish my 7 cuts, and then I'm going to start with the bird's mouth on these boards. And hopefully I could get to the gussets. And hopefully it doesn't rain again. They call for a 40% chance, but we'll see. guess what? A storm coming our way. Jeez, man. Last July it didn't rain once. Now I'd say most of the days it rained. Holy. So I had to quickly put the niter saw away. I don't think I'm gonna escape it, but it's possible. I might just get the end of it. So I'm just waiting to see before I quickly tarp the wood there. Oh man, it's really this rain's really delaying my progress. 13 more to go. Well, it's starting to rain now. Just spitting right now. I got to put that tarp on. The last cloud flew by with no rain, but the forecast calls for severe thunderstorms around an hour from now and throughout the early evening. So 70-mile-an-hour winds, hail. So that's not good. I think I'm done for the gussets, but good thing I finished cutting all the bird's mouths there. So on my next day off, I guess I'm going to do the gussets, okay? I was kind of hoping if it didn't rain today, I'd have time to finish the gussets, but... Okay, that's it for today. Okay, my next day off, 40% chance of rain again. And we're going to make the gussets today. And so I'm going to make them come down 8 inches and extend across here, like that. And we're going to do that on, I got 1/2 inch thickness exterior plywood. And we're going to cut them out now. So I just need to know it's 8 inches. And I'm going to go dry it up now. Now I did the math already. On this board, I could get 4 gussets per row, and it'll be 6 rows. So 4 times 6, I get 24 gussets, and I only need 18, take away 2, 7, 16. So I'm good. Okay, now that I got my 8-inch line drawn across the surface, and you should go with the grain, because the wood will be brittle if you cut against the grain. So you want the gusset to be the grain going with it, so it's stronger. Now it's 2 ways. Now we need a 18.5 degree angle. You could do it with the protractor. You mark the angle as 18 degrees. Or you can do it with your speed square. And almost like you did it before, you go to the 4. But that gives you the 18 degrees here. You want it here on this side, so you just pivot it to the 4. And that's my 18 degree line. Now I'm using my protractor set up backwards like this. Make sure it's straight on the line. And I'm going to do my 18.5 degrees. I'm going to mark it. repeat at the end of the last gusset. I was thinking I'd get 4 gussets per row, but I'm going to get 3. So 3 times 6, 18. And that's enough. I need 17. So now I'll just saw that out. Okay, I cut the board off. Now I'm just going to line this up for the next piece. So I don't have to measure again. I'm just going to mark peaks, controls of where I got to cut. There you go, it fits. And you want to make sure it doesn't go near the top. You don't want it to interfere with the roof boards. Now one on each side for all the rafters except the gable ends. Just one on the inside. Okay, just finished cutting 18 gussets right there. And now the next step is just to glue and nail them on. Okay, now it's time to install the gussets to the rafters and make sure the rafters in there and nice and aligned. And like I said before, you want to make sure the gusset is not above the rafter. It's a little bit below. I'm just going to mark a general line where I have to glue. And I'm I'm using construction adhesive. I guess the pros say you should use a yellow carpenter's glue. I couldn't find any that they have in a caulk, and I don't know, I just didn't. I have 2 tubes of this construction adhesive, and I see some guys, they don't even use glue. They just nail it together. So I'm sure the construction adhesive will be adequate. But if you want a stronger bond, they say use yellow carpenter's glue. And then I'm going to nail it. I'm using the 60 nails. These ones aren't galvanized. I don't think they're going to get wet. They're inside, but I'm just going around about 3-4 inches. Okay, my first rafter build. Place it on. Everything seems okay. Like I said before, I want to make sure the grain runs like this across the rafter on the plywood. That makes it a heck of a lot stronger. Okay, I'll finish for the day. It didn't rain, but it looked threatening at times. So I got my 7 rafters here and my 2 rafters that are going to be on the gable ends there. All complete. Now I just have to put everything away and store this and protect it from the rain. Okay, I'm just putting everything away for the night. I'm storing the trusses in their normal position. Just when they stretch out and the moisture and everything, I just want them the same anyways. We really wanted to build the gable ends today, but there's definitely no time for that. But we'll need the miter saw for that. That's what that wood's for. I'm going to keep those jigs in for that, and I'll try to get that done on these days. And that'll be it for my days off this week. Next week I got 3 days off, and that's when I'm going to start the walls, hopefully weather permitting.